Why not Alabama? You just saw Coach Marcus Shepard like absolutely lit. Like that is going to be your wide receiver coach every single day. You don't think he wants the best for you? So Khalil Lockett saying that Alabama's certainly in play, and you got the quarterback from Texas, Keelan Russell, who's out of the Elite 11, who's absolutely balling out, and one of the top quarterbacks at the camp. I'm sure you've seen the updates as well. Every single year, the Elite 11, the most established quarterback event, hosts the top quarterbacks in the land, and Keelan Russell is one of those guys. So Khalil Lockett was here from Monday to Wednesday. Now, there's plenty of articles that you can read, updates, but everything seems so positive with him, and I'm not surprised to see it. I mean, Jamarcus Shepard is a fantastic wide receiver coach and probably has the most energy out of any of the coaches on the staff. You looked at what he did in the past. I mean, this guy was at Purdue. Remember Rondale Moore coached him up. You look at Washington's wide receivers. He coached them up. And over here, he wants these wide receivers to be takers, right? Takers, a very aggressive coach. So here's a look at the guys that are coming in. Look, Justus Terry, this is getting really interesting, okay? He's the second player right here on the board that we're talking about. He's a 5-star. Now, over the last 2 days, that was, Wednesday and Tuesday, USC has lost 2 5-star commitments. 2, all right? 2 5-star commitments. I don't know what's going on at USC. I don't really care what's going on at USC, but I like the fact that Justus Terry canceled his visit to USC, and he is coming to Alabama this weekend, okay? I say it again. He is coming to Alabama this weekend. So he's a 5-star defensive lineman. Actually, let's run some tape on Justus Terry, a big-time prospect out of the state of Georgia. 6'5", 265 pounds, 78 tackles. He had 13 sacks. This guy is an absolute mauler. When you're looking at players that you absolutely would love to jump on board. Blakely, what's up? I see you was on the comment box. Justus Terry is that guy. Now, look, Todd, what's up? I appreciate you being here as usual. Look, Justus Terry coming in. You give him the red carpet treatment. 5 stars are coming. You get him with Courtney Morgan. You get him with Freddie Roach, who's a very underrated recruiter. And I get it. You have London Simmons, who just committed, but you need more depth within that position. And, man, you get a guy like this. This catapults Alabama through the roof. This guy, go look up his highlight tapes. We'll play him here for a little bit. This is Justin Terry. He's everything that you want in a defensive tackle. He would be kind of the next wave. And I think a couple days ago, I said London Simmons, defensive tackles, in my opinion, they need some time to be able to get on the field. I don't know if you could say this about Justus Terry. I think that he is just that good of a player. You get him in, and I think that, who knows? I mean, because I asked you guys a little bit ago, like who were one of the first defensive tackles to be able to step on the field right away? Talking about Justus Terry for just jumping in. Decommitted from USC. 2 5-stars did recently, and he will be in Tuscaloosa this weekend with a whole host of other big-time ballers. This is probably, look at this guy. He's fighting off like 4 guys. This weekend of recruiting is big. I think this is probably the biggest weekend, and it capped off with hosting Khalil Lockett, right? The 5-star at Texas. We're watching Justus Terry, his highlights right now on Bama Football on YouTube. Look at him, absolute mauler. All right, so this is who's coming into town this weekend. Really big weekend of football. What's going on? Kyle Henderson and Bama Football on YouTube. I appreciate you guys. If you guys could take a minute, hit the thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. I'm going to take some coffee for just 1 second. All right. As we kind of roll down the list and look at the prospects that are coming, you also have Dijon Lee. So everyone's like, where are the 5-stars? Look, the 5-stars are right here. Khalil Lockett was just here. Justus Terry, he's coming. And Dijon Lee, one of the most coveted defensive backs in the class of 2025 out of the state of California. Okay, we've talked many times that California is now a direct pipeline for Coach Kalen DeBoer, considering he was out on the West Coast. This corner, I think, is another guy, Caleb Cunningham. Yes, Brandon, thank you so much for adding him. We'll add him to our board on our next show. Caleb Cunningham will also be here, a very talented 5-star as well. So, to my point, the 5-stars are coming. And thank you, Brandon. I appreciate you. With Dijon Lee coming in, you get him with Mo Lindquist. You get him with Colin Hitchell, these guys who have been 5-star recruiters, right? And you kind of showcase him the philosophy, and you also show him, look, while we have the secondary players here and we feel good about our secondary, we've talked about it, Damani Jackson, Keon Sabb, Malachi Moore, you can be a part of this future, right? You look at the guys in the back end, Jalen Mbakwe, Xavier Brown, Red Morgan, Zay Mincy. You need guys behind those guys. After all of those departures, I think so the 5 stars, and I think right now, if you look to the rankings and kind of their predictions, it says Dijon Lee to Bama. Is that early? I don't know. I mean, he commits here on the 28th. Alabama's going to have one last crack at him before he does make his final announcement. So that's Dijon Lee. You also have Caleb Cunningham, not on our board, but he is a 5-star. He's coming into town this weekend as well, okay? Derek Meadows out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Bishop Gorman, everybody knows about Bishop Gorman. He is coming in as well. And those guys, can you imagine those guys getting to meet Jamarcus Shepard and kind of that energy? You saw the energy that he was giving with Travis Smith. I mean, I just played that clip a little bit ago, and I'll play it again. I mean, guys coming with absolute fire, 1,000,000%. Micah DeBose is a 4-star offensive lineman. Alabama's been doing a fantastic job building up that offensive line so far. Love what I see from the offensive line. Michael Carrup, Mal Waldrip, and you recently got Jackson Lloyd. So those are kind of the first 3 pillars of Alabama's recruiting class for the offensive line. We talked about the quarterback, Keelan Russell, who's out in California. And once you got your quarterback, you saw the offensive linemen started to jump on board. Max, what's up? Just curious, have all of our commits actually had committable offers? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I'm sure, some other people could answer inside the comment box. But, yeah, I think everybody, is good to go in terms of the guys who are committed. Abdul Sanders, I know he was recently in Tennessee, and I'm sure Tennessee rolled out the red carpet for a prospect who's a linebacker out of the state of California again. Because right now, what do you have? 3 prospects that are committed from the state of California? Just talking off the top of my head. Jackson Lloyd, right, out of Northern California. Abdul Sanders, who is out of Los Angeles, and then Alex Oshbaroff, the punter, right? Are those the 3 commits from California? You have 4 with Chuck McDonald as well. That's 4 commits from the state of Alabama, or from the state of California that have committed to Alabama. And then you bring on Dijon Lee, that would be 5, right? Can someone do some quick research out there, undefeated? What is the most prospects from California that Alabama has ever had in one recruiting class? Because right now you have 4. What would that be? All right. Antonio Coleman is in. He will be here as well. Remember, he's a prospect from Lower Alabama who is committed to Auburn, then flips to Alabama. He was just at Auburn, but is still fully committed to Alabama. But remember, these players take their visits, which I would too. Speaking of, Luke Metz was just at Georgia. He is from Georgia. He will be back in Tuscaloosa. So getting him back, Todd is saying Johnson will eventually flip. And we're not even talking about like Naheem Oford. So, I mean, look at all these 5-stars. We're not even talking about Ty Haywood, right? So I'm just saying these are the 5-stars that are certainly being targeted. Ty Haywood, that seems reasonable. Naheem Oford, we probably think he's going to flip. There's 2 5-stars. Khalid Lockett said that he's certainly considering Alabama. There's 3 5-stars. Justus Terry, he's coming in. At least he's coming to see. I know Georgia fans feel really good. Caleb Cunningham, that's another 5-star. Dijon Lee, right? So the 5 stars are out there. All right.